So walk me through the numbers on your typical deals then, like, and just for people who aren't familiar with BRRR, the BRRR strategy that he mentioned, it's buy, rehab, rent, refinance, right? And so, but you guys have sort of a unique take on it. So can you walk me through like an example deal that you do?
Yeah, sure. Like, just a typical, like, we'll find a rental house for, let's say, $50,000. And on the purchase, we'll basically disclose to our private investors who we borrow money from, or if it's our lending company, we'll put it as a project management fee because we're the ones kind of overseeing projects. So if I'm going to pay a project manager to do it, why don't we pay ourselves to manage it, right? So you could either put it on the project management side or put it on the acquisition fee. And so on the acquisition fee, basically when you close on it with our private lender, we get that money up front as if it was a wholesale fee. And we fix it up, rent it, and then in 1 year or 6 months, depending on which lender we have, we'll refinance the property out. And that's how we really started to scale and turn that money.
Wow. And so when you're refinancing then, so you bought it for 50, how much you putting into it?
Usually if we paid 50 in this area, probably 10, 15, not much.
Okay. And what's it appraised for then, typically?
Typically it'll appraise for about 100, 120.
Okay.
And we pretty much never pull in equity out. We try to get the lowest possible loan to value and get that debt paid down as quickly as possible. So if it'll appraise for, let's say, 100, 120, the lender will give us 70, 80% loan to value, but we will never take it. We'll take just whatever we owe our lender and then put that into long-term financing.
So you are usually able to get all of your initial investment out, so you don't have any investment into it.
Correct. Yes, that's the only way it works. You have to buy it correctly, and that's why you have to be really careful when you pull out that money on the front end to make sure that you're not going to owe it to your lender at the end of the deal.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize is even possible. I think a lot of people think you've got to leave a down payment in, and so they calculate their ROI based on how much they've left into the deal. But your guys' ROI is infinity. Like you have $0 into this property, so you can just keep doing it. And so what's your typical acquisition fee on these?
Again, it depends on the deal, but usually $5,000 to $10,000. And the cool thing is we started applying this strategy to mobile home parks and apartment complexes. You could do literally the exact same thing, except in an apartment complex or a mobile home park, you can make $50,000 or $100,000 as an acquisition fee.
Yeah, and I've heard in apartment complex that's a common practice. I mean, pretty much every developer that's buying these and fixing them up, they're charging an acquisition fee to, essentially out of the equity portion. They're just raising a little bit more equity, but that's their fee for putting the deal together. So I think that's smart that you applied it to single family homes. I haven't heard of anyone else really doing that. Hey, if you got value out of this segment of the interview with Stan and Dana, give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe, and you'll be notified when other videos similar to this come out. This is a husband and wife team that has built an incredible portfolio. They've had a ton of success just in the last couple of years. And maybe you're an investor who wants to get your spouse on board. They offer some really great advice in the rest of this interview. You can listen to the full interview on any podcast player. Just search Living Off Rentals podcast and share it with your spouse. Share it with somebody else who might want to get their spouse on board or is investing as a husband and wife team. Also, you can go to the Living Off Rentals Facebook page, or the Facebook group, I should say, and join the Living Off Rentals Facebook group. There's a lot of great rental property investors that hang out there. Stan and Dana are members there, so you can ask them any questions you had about this interview or about anything else they talked about. Hope to see you in the next video.